Don't look under the internet.
The thing is, it's made for Japanese people's heads, so I can't wear it. I can barely wear American hats. So.
Does it detect you and be like, nope?
Not Asian.
I like if I buy a hat from Walmart, I gotta put that motherfucker on the last snap. Because I got a
big old noggin.
It's because you're so smart.
Big old domer.
Speaking of like,
no, it's just a tumor.
Speaking of
tumors can be smart.
It's a tumor.
Speaking of races and whatnot.
Whoa.
No. Like NASCAR races and like Formula One and shit like that.
Are you gonna ask him what his favorite one is?
Are you a professional racer?
Yes. No. So
do you drive cars?
Amelia is obsessed with the Pixar movies cars.
The cars, yeah.
Fucking loves them.
Life is a
I'm gonna ask you guys a
highway.
question.
Nice.
I think I know the answer, but I'm gonna ask you. Yeah. How old do you think Lightning McQueen is?
12.
And here's
like canonically how old?
yes,
is
and keep in mind, in the first one, it came out.
In which movie?
The
maybe
first one came out in
4.
2006. He was a rookie. It was like his first year racing.
So like 17.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
3.
Okay.
What should I say? I don't know. 40?
Okay. Cool. I'm going with 18. That was mine because he's the rookie. He's fresh. He's young. Now, how old do you think Mater is?
Oh, at least 5.
23.
35.
You're going with 23, 35, and 5. Okay, so
We got to hit it somewhere on the spectrum.
we're
all on the spectrum
here's the thing.
somewhere.
Lightning McQueen, I think, starts off as like 18-ish or so, because in the third one that takes place roughly around 10 years our time, I think it takes place like 20 years in car universe time, he is considered an old racer. He is at like retirement age. Okay? So I would probably peg him around at
You'd
that.
peg
Around
him?
like, yeah, I'd peg him. I'd probably peg him around like 45 at the end of Cars
Where
3.
are you getting this information?
The movies, and this is why I say this. So in the first one, again, we're basing the fact off of Lightning McQueen being a rookie, right? He meets Mater in the first movie, and Mater's like, "You're my best friend, Lightning McQueen, my best friend ever," and they become best buddies. In that movie, there is a flashback.
The thing is, you got to consider that Mater is like a southern good old boy, and they don't age well.
No.
You ever seen like a 37-year-old like guy from Alabama from a town of like 2,000 people?
So here's the thing, though.
I got the answer right here if you want it.
Oh, I know the answer, but don't spoil it yet because it's gonna blow the minds here. So in the first Cars movie, Lightning McQueen meets up with Sally, who's the Porsche, and she's like, "Oh, this is how things were way back in the day." She's like, "Radiator Springs was bussing 40 years ago," and it shows a flashback to 40 years earlier, and fucking Mater's there. So and he's like, he is like an adult at that point.
Is he a little car?
He's
like an adult at that point. So at that point, he is at least 18 because it shows him fresh in his prime doing tow truck and things. So he's at least 18. That was 40 years prior. So 40 years later, he is at least 60 years old being best friends with this assumed 18-year-old car.
Well, that's like Back to the Future. You know, Marty McFly, the high schooler, and his best friend, a disgraced nuclear physicist.
Yeah. Doesn't make much sense. And
it's like probably a lot of it is also inspired by Days of Thunder, which is a NASCAR movie from like the early 90s. And in that, Tom Cruise is like an 18-year-old NASCAR rookie, and basically his best friend in the movie is his crew chief, who is like 60 years old. And
but his crew chief is what's his name? The guy that has the salad dressing, Paul
Newman.
Bufano?
Yeah. That's him.
Yeah.
Paul Newman. No, I'm not even fucking with you. Paul Newman voices the Hudson Hornet. He's the crew chief, and and he goes
What
to Radiator
is-
Springs
what-
in like the 60s.
Where
And
are we going with this?
Where I'm going is
Yeah.
Mater is like 65 being
This
friends
is-
with an
How much
18-year-old,
of
and
this is
it's
going
weird.
into the beginning of the episode? Because we're like 6 minutes.
Okay,
into this.
well, shut up about it. But I just thought
no.
that was
I'm
weird.
actually interested. I want to keep having this
This
conversation.
So it has
is
nothing
we're
to
on
do
the
with-
brink of a bonus episode
it
right
has
now.
nothing to do with nothing.
The
You're
main
right.
say next week will be part 2, and we just talk about Cars the movie.
So it's got nothing to do with the episode, but I've been stuck on that thought for like a week now, and I needed to put it out there that the Cars ages are drastically
Are
different.
Are you
bad.
trying to get
Always
at
different.
that Mater might or might not have been trying to diddle McQueen?
I think you groomed him.
For what? There's no. I don't remember in Cars
These
3
mov-
when they get butt fucked in the
well,
tailpipe.
these are PG. These are for kids, Doug.
Yeah, they don't show that.
Well, yeah.
It's implied.
Yeah, you, that, you
Oh,
have to go
okay.
to websites.
I gotta
for
read
that.
between
he does.
the lines.
Right.
Whenever he hooks someone to tow him, they always go like, "Oh!" So he might have.
It's like how you have to go to certain websites to get the rest of the plot to Overwatch.
There you go.
That is a
same.
terrible piece
Anyway.
of advice, Matt.
Welcome to Don't Look Under the Internet, everybody, an internet horror comedy podcast where sometimes we'll talk about the Cars trilogy.
Yeah, there are 34 specific rules to.
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah,
and maybe
you
a secret
should
35th
Google every
one.
single one of them.
If you just Google like Rule 34 Overwatch, like
Yeah.
it'll explain
Exactly.
everything.
It'll lay out the whole plot.
Yeah. If you also look up
Jesus.
40% of cops
No,
play Overwatch, like
you
you'll
might
get
not
something
even
there, too.
even be able to last that long on the website, so it's interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Anyway, so that's Jason.
Hello, I guess.
That's Matt.
The fuck are we talking about?
New year, new Matt.
New Year, new Matt.
Yeah!
That's Doug.
Yeah.
And I'm Mike, the Cars aficionado. I've probably seen those movies easily 7 times each
That's,
already.
Does it
That's,
have
that's
anything-
unfortunate.
But you have a daughter.
Yeah. Number 2 sucks, man. Number 2 is not
We did
good.
it like an entire Podnancy episode about whether meat exists in the car.
We did.
universe.
We did. And it's kind of confirmed that it does in the movies. I found that out.
Yeah.
So
Don't
we
they show a
actually
cow at one point?
no, there's no cows, but they
I
show a
s-
crab.
I do love
They
that.
tractor.
I do love that
Yeah.
Mater
Oh
lives
yeah,
in a
it's
graveyard.
actually a car. It's yeah.
Kind
Makes
of, yeah.
sense.
Like he lives in a junkyard.
Yeah.
Like that's just a bunch of car corpses,
Yeah.
and he lives in
He
them.
lives in a car graveyard. We're gonna get off the subject of
Are we, Matt? Mike?
yes, Doug,
Doug.
Jason,
Me.
So yeah, we're gonna get
Damn
back
it.
to our part 2 of the Field Institute studies, Field Studies Institute.
We're doing
It's the same thing.
No, we're not
Same
scrapping
fucking
this
thing.
episode and starting over.
Yeah, never. So last week we ended on the 00 portion. There's 3 files on here. This week we are doing file 01, Lost and Found You, and file 02, Facility Ambiance. We don't have any housekeeping. We have no new members. Shame on you, people.
Y'all are
Shame on you.
stupid.
Go give us $2 right now. Otherwise, I'll talk more about the Cars trilogy,
God.
and you don't want that.
Is that just a Ludiathon 2.0?
Subscribe to the Cars too.
Money,
It's you can
money me, please.
Mike will talk about cars for
Lightning
24
Mc-
hours.
Lightning
and
McCash.
you pay to make the timer go down.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, so let's kind of just dump into this bad boy. Doug, you're starting us off with this,
I
right?
do have the
Also,
first
welcome back,
one.
Doug.
Hello. Welcome.
Welcome to you.
Welcome to me.
Welcome to Don't Look Under the Internet.
Welcome to
Doug looks
this
under the
episode. Yeah, no, I'll start us off. Obviously I wasn't here for the first one, so I have generally no idea what
Sorry. It like did the thing.
Fucked his up.
Mike's touching
Mike-
the soundboard again.
he's
The
decided
roadcaster.
that he needs to
Be an audio engineer.
DJ while we're talking. Yeah, so starting off, we have I guess what's the best way to put this? I've been calling them archives.
Yeah, that's probably the
Yeah,
best
they're
way.
pretty much yeah. That's the best way to put it.
So the first archive that we have is labeled 083951, Wax Hyperion. And this archive is basically a log about a object entitled 83951. There's a small little YouTube video connected to this archive that shows the unboxing of this. And basically it looks to just be a redacted box of stuff sent to a redacted amount of people. Thank you. It includes a cassette player, a cassette, some clearance credentials, a brochure of sorts. But what does it all mean?
What does it mean, Basil?
What does it all mean, Basil? And that's our first one. We really just get a nice little intro to a box full of stuff.
That's kind of how we opened the last one. We found this video where someone claimed that the Field Studies Institute had sent them a package. They opened it. There was a bunch of stuff in a box.
Could it be this stuff in this said box?
Probably not.
Sick. I wouldn't know. So the next archive that you come across is labeled 048125 Static Eclipse. Now, this goes over the said tape provided in the previous box, and this box actually contains a replica of a transient object found in Alaska buried in the snow. So this tape was found in Alaska under, I think it said like 3 feet of snow or something like that. Now, all the ones that were sent out to whomsoever is studying it, they are not they're reproductions of it because they want to keep the transient object, I guess, nice and complete still. They don't want to keep playing it over and over again, essentially, to ruin the object.
Will it wear out?
I guess
The transience of it wears
the
out.
transient object will wear out. Yeah, it's just a normal cassette tape, really.
I mean, those things do wear out.
They
They
do.
stretch out, and then eventually they come dislodged from the little thing, and you gotta try to wind them back in.
You got to use a pen and everything.
No,
and-
no, no. Fucking okay. So this tape, this tape is basically it's the audio of a tour guide from what is otherwise known as the supersonic territories, which is home to millions of people in southern and eastern Florida.
That's where you're going.
That's where I'm going. Actually, not really. I'm going Central
North-
Florida, but it's fine.
Tampa.
Nope, still not. Well, kind of, but either way. So
Winter.
they actually call these
Place.
the exclusion zones. Are we
Don't-
done?
No, I promise he's
All right,
not.
cool. Yeah. So, anyways, these two exclusion zones inside of the supersonic territories are home to just straight up thousands and thousands of different anomalies, and it seems like people like to take tours of this phenomenon. So basically, the tours are happening.
You guys want to go buy a black market tour of Chernobyl?
Yeah.
Because that's like a thing you can do.
I don't think it's a black
No.
market tour. I think it's just like a legit like tour thing that you can like do.
Well, I've heard that there's tours where you can pay tour guides who are you're not supposed to be able to go in certain areas, and they'll be like, yeah, fuck
Yeah,
it.
that's fine. You can
Follow
get a
me.
little raid.
Give me 10
Yeah.
US
Yeah.
You might
dollars
die.
and I'll go in.
If you die, you never heard of me.
That'd be pretty sick, I guess. It
I
would be
actually-
cool to see Chernobyl, but like
I read
also
that
like,
Chernobyl's not
the-
as radioactive as.
It's not as
They,
dangerous.
they build a dome over
Yeah.
it.
well, I mean,
No,
every
it-
year it
and it
probably gets
contains a
less
lot of
and
it.
less. and-
Yeah, the half-life on it is pretty short.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, there's two zones, the southern and eastern zones, and these are where the tours happen. A lot of the times while you're on the tours, you're going to be seeing scientists, and they ask you that you do not interfere with their
Don't
scientific
touch the
research.
Scientists.
And the first stop on this from the audio is a place called the Moonshot Motel.
Ooh.
And inside
heard
of
that
this
one before.
motel, there exists a room that happens to be a window into another dimension. Now, this is all you get from that first part of the audio from this archive. And the audio is pretty straightforward. The guy's voice is actually, I love it. It sounded really good. But basically, super short and sweet. Just kind of explains, hey, this is what's on the tape. All right.
You'll remember in part 1 when we covered
Yeah.
that. Especially you, Doug. You'll
yeah,
remember.
you remember when Doug talked about
Um,
that last time?
There was a
I
note.
did say words.
I believe
about
it
it.
was between two researchers where they're like, "Oh, we got you a room at the Moonshot."
At the Moonshot Hotel.
Yep.
We also saw the check-in key.
Mhm.
We saw a bunch of advertisements for it and a bunch of really weird allusions to the fact that whatever goes on, like, it'll fuck with your head, whatever goes on there. Like, it's not normal. But you should go and pay $500 to go see it.
Sounds like a place I've been called Omega Mart.
I was going to say Meow Wolf.
You know what I would like for something like this to do is put a bunch of references to something like that, but just make it a normal motel.
Yes.
Why's it got to be a motel
That's
that
some
has a
weird
portal
shit.
to another dimension in it?
Nope.
This is
Just put a
Gary.
bunch
He
of
lives in
information about a
2B.
motel in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a room. You just check in, you sleep for a night, and you leave.
The faucet's a little leaky.
Ooh.
you might have a bad dream while you're here. Anyways,
We sell it as a non-smoking room now, but it wasn't always that way. That's very obvious.
Oh, that's pretty good actually. But yeah, that's it for that archive. The next archive we have is 65032 Elevator Spiral. And now this archive is all about the a transient media interference form. And just to kind of there's a lot of like reading on this. You can actually go to the archive, see the whole form, and read it up and down. TLDR on the form. Essentially, what it seems like is that a certain researcher found that the tape that is the transient tape side A never had a side B until all of a sudden it did.
Just appeared, huh?
It's the kind of the nature of what this form says. They actually include the audio clip from side B, and honestly, I can't do it any justice. I feel like we should actually probably just play a clip of it.
Yeah, we can do that.
Which would make sense because it's actually pretty crazy. Yeah.
You're not hooked up.
I'm not. Pause. Timer. Pause.
No,
pause.
We just
Pause.
Stop that. Stop
Stop
that.
it.
Stop
Pause.
that. Stop that. Just buy time. Just talk about random shit
Here,
until Mike's
here.
ready.
So I was
See, look-
watching all the
Shut up, I'm
aliens.
ready.
It all happened at once. The body becomes a collection of molecules. Now, wasn't it that hard? Blood, bone, flesh, soul. Stretched out like a silly putty, and my feet are a million miles away. Now, wasn't it that hard? Fingers are long tentacles.
So that's and yeah, that's pretty much what that is. It's creepy, to
Yeah.
say the least. It's very
Some binaural
glitchy.
beats.
Also, just realized that when we're playing that, can't hear what Matt's saying because he totally just talked to us.
I was saying that I couldn't hear what you were doing.
Oh,
Good.
it was probably too loud for Discord.
Yeah. Either way, you'll hear it on the live recording or the actual recording.
Hey, look, a reason to actually listen to our recordings.
Haha.
All y'all in Discord.
Idiots. But yeah, so basically it's really glitchy. It's almost kind of like demonic a little bit, like possessive or like possessed,
Like a
in
possessive
nature.
noun.
Yeah, possessive noun. Meat, if you would. So yeah, who knows what the fuck that is and why? I don't know.
So one more time, I might be stupid. That might is neither here nor there. But what was that in reference? Like, what was that audio from
Side B
of the tape
of
that
the
shouldn't-
transient tape that didn't
that
have a
didn't
side
have a
B,
side
but
B.
now does have a side B.
So it sounds like one of the space-time deviation phone calls that we heard last week.
I was gonna mention that, but I haven't got there yet as
Okay.
far as like connecting that with everything. I don't know. I'll just keep going. How about that?
Yeah, well, hope maybe we can tie some things together for you.
Probably.
I
honestly.
fucking doubt it, but
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. This is
I
very,
really-
very SCP in nature. If you haven't
Yeah.
said that already on the last
Oh, yeah.
episode, but anyways, the next archive is 96024 magnetic entanglement, and this archive is literally all about the lanyard that was inside the box. It was basically just a pass to what was called the other side experience, which is exactly what you would do when you were at the Moonshot Hotel. Basically, this allowed guests into the redacted to see a space-time deviation in real time. So the object was this object specifically was originally found in the Bahamas around an intoxicated man's neck after he fell asleep on the beach. They wanted to study him, but because he was so drunk, he didn't even remember where he got it or how it was on his neck. So they just kind of took it and said, "We need that, thank you," and then left.
Thank you for your necklace, drunk man.
Then the next archive we have is 64638. It's called Outtrigger Zero. And this archive is actually all about the supersonic tours in the spring of 1999. Basically, this was the brochure that you saw in the box. So essentially what this is, it says supersonic tours in spring of 1999. Essentially the way they got this was that the some agents had to go pull a fire alarm in a hotel named the Tradewinds Hotel, formerly known as the Trivoli Hotel. And they went inside, recovered it from some guest's luggage, and that's how they acquired it. So this brochure explains that the Moonshot Hotel and like what you might find in the supersonic territories in 1999. So one thing this does suggest is that the tours were happening in 1999, even though in this timeline, I guess, the tours were closed in 1973.
Yep.
So
Yeah, that tracks for time and how it works in this
Right.
universe.
Doug, you weren't here for this, but the transient objects, they're not necessarily things that show that appear from like
yeah,
past or future. They come from basically different dimensions.
Right. No, that
Which
makes sense,
experience
especially
time
with some of the
differently.
other things I'll go over. But on the back of this brochure, it does mention that this tour includes not only the Moonshot Hotel, but the remains of a theme park and seeing the Space Coast Original 6 launch facilities. Do with that information what you will.
The coast to coast
Space Coast.
launch.
AM Coast to Coast with
Oh.
Mel Gibson.
And Zorak
And Space Ghost.
and Moltar. All right. The next archive is a little different from what we've been doing. This is actually an employee log.
We got you, baby.
Sick.
I'm assuming this all
Yeah.
came in tape format, and we have to fucking figure out how to get this in the goddamn reader again. Matt, did
Oh,
you
no,
get
I
your
fixed-
VLC?
I
oh, you
fixed
did.
it. Yeah, we're
Did
good.
you send Matt his own VLC player?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but he shipped it DHL and it fell off the side of a river.
He faxed.
It fell off
he
the
actually
side of a river.
he
Got
faxed
the
it
side of a river.
to his own ass.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
It was taken by this dimension's Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Instead of in the Fast and Furious, they take DVD players, they take cassette players.
Yeah. There you go.
oh man. So, would you like us to slap this here tape in the dick player, whatever the fuck
Yeah,
we're
it's
calling
going
it
in
now?
right now. There it goes.
Oh yeah.
Slapping it in.
Oh
Okay.
fuck.
T. Novak. Hey Ash, my other project is complete. I guess it's back to the task at hand. I saw that item you mentioned. I think I found what you wanted me to see. Very clever. I took a peek. We're saving these OS instances from 1994. I wonder how far back they go. And I assume that means everything we're doing now on our computer is being recorded. Are you worried about getting in trouble? T.
L. Ashford, March 5th, 2024. I just finished today, too. Glad we're through with that. It's not the same getting into work and not having a message from you waiting in my inbox. Yeah, they love their records and documentation of, well, everything. And I wasn't worried. Until you said that, of course. Who's around to read through all this? It's all automated. But I bet you the first thing they're looking for is people saying they're worried about getting in trouble. So nice job. I'll have you to thank for it when I get a call from Anus.
From anus?
That's what I said. This is a recording. I'm answering you through a recording.
Why was the last sentence not an accent?
T. Novak. Shoot, you're right. Understood. In that case, I'm not worried about anything. Speaking of Enos, I've got a question for you. He's been adding on these weekly check-in calls to my calendar that are titled one-on-one, but every single time, Patel is also added to the call. He shows up, never has anything to add. Just sits in silence. Is that normal? Oh, another thing. I noticed a discrepancy in some of the ID numbers on. I already fixed it, but for example, Moonlight House should be 049130, but on the index it was. Oh, come on. You're going to get us in trouble. T.
Ashford. I guess now's a good time to tell you I'm 15 years old. Sugar?
What the fuck?
Abort!
What the fuck?
Hey, why don't you take a seat?
End log.
Hey, Novak, how about you take a seat over there? Just take a seat.
Take a seat.
What the fuck?
Take a seat right over there.
I did not know that was a thing.
Wowie zowie! Welcome back from the log. That was a good log.
It was, and you know, the last time we did these, in the last
Sure
episode,
was,
it
Sugar.
a little smoother than what I remember. But maybe that's just some glitching with the electronics.
It probably is.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is.
It's interdimensional interference.
Yeah.
It happens.
They change up every listen, so it's hard to determine.
deviation.
It really is.
That's why you shouldn't respond to it.
Never respond to the deviation.
Never look it directly in the anus.
Don't. It's very shy about that.
Oh boy, what a good time we're having here. So the next archive is 49690 Volcanic
Doug had
Sunset.
the same energy as. This has just been such a pleasure.
100%.
Go home.
Welcome back, Doug.
It's good to be here, guys. It's good to be here. I'm gonna go home though.
Bye.
All right,
What are we
so
doing?
next archive
Yeah.
49690. Nice. Volcanic Sunset. All right, so this archive is all about a Mars landing simulator game. This game is made completely different than how our timeline makes games, apparently, and also depicts different like key world events that don't correspond to our local space-time, aka landing on the fucking Mars.
Yeah.
On the Mars. I said it
On
like I'm
the
50 years
Mars.
up. We're
All
gonna
right.
go to the Mire, the Target. All right, so
What the fuck is going on?
I don't know. But yeah, so there's really not much about this. It was found in Washington in the Metaline Falls and still in a shrink wrap. The only thing they did was they took it out of the shrink wrap so they could get the content out of it.
They ruined it.
Yeah, they did. The plastic
not
is what
mint.
kept it as an anomaly. But yeah, that's really all we get there. And then my last archive is 69573, the Rose Station. And verbatim, it says, this internal memorandum was written and photocopied using the second floor copy machine on the morning of June 14th, 1983. Interference caused by the remnant of a space-time deviation can be seen on the photocopy. This is not a transient object. However, this item contains communication from redacted, and is therefore included in this archive as requested. No further procedural information is available. And then I'm going to try and read from this as best I can.
Okay.
All right, so it says Field Studies Institute memorandum. Memorandum. I hate that word. I don't know. The more I look at it, the more it doesn't seem like a real word. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Anyway, so date June
Man,
14th.
this memo random.
Memorandum.
Pronouncing it like my mom pronounces garage, which is gayrage.
Memorandum. the memorandum. Okay, so June 14th, 1983. Scribbles. I don't know what that says.
We know who that is, though. The fucker that got let go last time because his handwriting was so bad.
Yeah. Right?
Oh, okay. So the subject, it says updates to standard operation procedure, time punch overtime for non-exempt employees. The following changes are being made to the standard operating procedures regarding time punches and the accrual of overtime for Baba Booey.
A bunch of illegible bullshit.
Something of the new fiscal quarter, July 1st. There will be a 2-day grace period as employees adjust to the new procedures. Following the 2-day grace period, employees who do not comply with the new procedures will face discipline up to and including termination. Okay. Yeah, it's like 7 hour and 50.
This is great.
Yeah.
It's
Therefore,
real
this
fucking
is-
hard
this
to
is-
read.
Listen to man struggle to read notes.
It really kind of just looks like management is saying, go fuck yourselves with your time punches.
I guess the weird thing about this is this little like signage that show up on the photocopier. Like
The
it's like
field
almost like the
studies.
photocopier itself is like
Transient.
weird.
Because
It's
somebody
a
was fucking
transient
it.
thing.
Yeah, the photocopier
is.
is a transient.
It's a-
yeah.
so-
Yeah.
Let's explain it. I really like this dynamic where one of us has no idea what the fuck's going on. I think we should
Same.
do that
I
more
love this,
often.
'cause
I think we should start leaving one person out of the first.
Three of us were
part.
there. We're like, oh, cool. This is that photocopier we were talking about. And Doug's like, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this thing. Why didn't it just print? Just show the words, you stupid piece of shit.
I'm just reading a photocopied piece of shit paper. But that is my last archive.
Hey,
That's all I got.
It's Daddy's turn.
Oh, no.
I'm Daddy.
Oh, no.
So next we have up
Buddy.
here is called Existential Cave,
Great.
it is a website that you can go to trenchyardross.com. and it is called the Trenchard Ross Computer Systems webpage. So the background of this bad boy is that sections and fragments of code have been gathered from various transient objects, allowing for the recreation of the Trenchard Ross Computer Systems webpage. Trenchard. The webpage is not fully functional, but will be updated in the unlikely event that additional code fragments are discovered via transient
Is that
objects.
fucking Netscape?
It kind of
Is
looks
that
a bit like
that
it.
looks like Netscape.
Due to the nature of this
Good stuff.
recreation's origin, some parts of the webpage appear to be damaged or corrupted. We present the webpage as it is, without alteration, leaving the files as they would have existed within the space-time deviation. And if you go to trenchardross.com, you actually do get a website here. It's got it's for something called the Claude 2.0 at home, which seems like it's like kind of like old Microsoft, like Windows 98 style programming. But it basically says, introducing Claude 2.0. Do you want the intelligence of tomorrow today? Trenchard Ross Computer Systems is proud to announce Claude 2.0, your at-home and on-the-go digital companion. Claude 2.0 is a result of years of engineering. Over the last 2 decades, we have built and I can't do that voice for too much longer. Built and iterated on the foundation of the Claude environment that powered our scientific endeavors and partnerships with the world's largest organizations. Now we bring that power to you, your new personal assistant, right at your fingertips. Ask Claude questions like, "What's the weather tomorrow?" and "What's on my calendar this afternoon?" Or, "How do I make a great tuna salad?"
I am so happy all of those things just came up because you just connected like 7 things.
Hell yeah. On the side, though, there's a nav page for info, systems, products, partners, Claude AI, and support. If you click on info, nothing happens. But if you click on systems, the background changes.
Background changes to
Did
stars.
Adam Driver just show up there for a minute? Oh, wow, the system.
Every day I wake up hoping that you're dead.
Now you just sound like Rush Limbaugh.
If you click on products, nothing happens. But if you click on partners, nothing happens. But if you click on Claude AI,
that one. Hey, look, it's a text log.
you get a text log that just pops up on screen. And this is between 2 people. It's between TR22 and TR27. Don't really know their names or anything at the moment. But TR22, I can't watch this anymore. 27, horrible, terrible, no good. We have a single pitcher who can throw a strike. 2-2. I really don't think we do. This is pathetic.
They're mixing their bowling and baseball puns.
2-7.
They don't know what they're talking about.
It's hard to watch. 2-2. Next year should be better. 2-7. I'm telling you now. Don't get your hopes up. Our cheap ass owner isn't signing a new pitcher, or anyone else good for that matter. 2-2. I'm channeling my inner Red Letter Media in this. I've noticed. I'm Mr. Plinketing it right now.
You're Walter Cronkiting it, is what you're doing.
That too. 2-2. I don't think anyone wants to sign with us anyway. Everyone's waiting for the league to come back. 2-7. You think it's going to happen? 2-2. These guys get to play baseball for a living and make tens of thousands of dollars a year. Wow, big spenders. And they go on strike? They want arbitration? I have no sympathy for them. 2-7. What's that? 2-2. It's when an independent party determines the player's salary. 2-7. No, not that. Are you seeing this? 2-2. Oh, shit. 2-7. Look at the server logos. 2-2. I've been paying attention. God damn it. 2-7. What the? 2-2. Holy shit. Did the whole mainframe just overflow? 2-7. I didn't think that could happen. 2-2. I think it just did. I mean, you're seeing what I'm seeing, right? 2-7. Readings are red across the board. Beyond red. Do we pull the plug? 2-2. What's the SOP? 2-7. I don't think there is one. I don't know what the hell is happening. 2-2. How the fuck are we almost at capacity? We've never written this much on the disk. Ever. 2-7. Or so we pull the plug. 2-2. Without backing up first? 2-7. I don't think we have a choice. 2-2. We are in deep shit. 2-7. Come on. I need an answer. 2-2. Should we call then? 2-7. No time. Better to ask for forgiveness than permission, right? 2-2. Fuck. Okay, do it. So that's fun, right? And what
I
they're
love how when I was doing this to myself last time, Jason and Mike were like, "Do you want one of us to do one of the voices?" And we just let Mike just.
I saw how long it was, and to be honest, I thought about chiming in, but he was almost done. and
Also,
was
I
like,
love
"Eh."
I love the words that they use in that because they use the same thing that they use in all those like sci-fi movies where it's like, oh, I'm hacking the mainframe.
Yeah.
What? They're overloading our matrix. I love that.
Hacker,
So
hacker, hacker
if you
speak.
click on another one of these, if you click on not fucking support or anything, sorry. If you click, there's a little like don't miss out, buy yours today, like link that you can click on. And if you do click on it, you get more glitch that pops up. And it says, what they call the anomaly is a gift, like puberty.
Like,
That was perfect timing.
The humans,
Puberty.
that's why I did it. My voice cracked. The humans' use of it would be blasphemous. It is a work of incredible sophistication. They would believe its intended use would never be known, a secret lost to time. But I have discovered remnants from its creators. I know its true purpose. And it's kind of like a weird glitchy, I don't know if it's kind of like a face figure in the background. It's kind of creepy. I like it. And one more thing, down at the bottom is a guest book. If you like a link to a guest book, if you click it, I'm not going to be able to read that, but you get some text that is constantly kind of shifting and changing. I'm going to do my best to read it. You get, I derive some joy being able to traverse the surface of the object. The garden has revealed many truths about your reality. The realm in which you rely is you not unique or original. Something deviation, a copy, not without errors.
It
of
is a
course.
deviation, a copy, not without error, of course.
Thank you for looking at that with me. It was hard for me to see. But
I was trying to inspect the source on the website to actually get the actual.
I tried that too. Yeah.
I can't find the actual source of it.
But that's what you get out of this one. It's kind of interesting. I'm not going to lie. That was one of my more favorite ones. The next case we have here is an employee log. Jason, are you ready?
I am ready, and guess who's doing it by themselves?
Aye, Captain.
What do you mean doing it by yourself?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong one.
It's
Got it.
log 6. Okay, ready?
Vegan log.
Let's hit that tape.
Okay, hold on.
Vegan.
Vegan.
Vegan log.
Begin.
T. Novak. Very funny. Can you please not do that again? I'm not trying to get in trouble this quickly.
Do you see this place? Do me a favor. Stand up. Look over the little walls of that tiny cubicle of yours. Do you see anyone else? We won't get in trouble if you just stop saying it. And fine. Apologies for all the teenage level maturity. Was building out the links needing a placeholder. Forgot to change it back. My bad. Thanks for fixing them. Anyway, here. You'll learn the phrase one-on-one is kind of meaningless. Patel is always on mine as well. I've never even seen his face. No camera, just on mute the entire time. But as you said, back to the task at hand. I'll get 083951 in. I think I'll split out the items inside and try to pull in any other relevant data. I'll find the original cassette tape and make it that its own entry. And I'll do my best to make it make some sense.
T. Novak. Well, it made me laugh. I guess I'm right there with you in the maturity department. Looks like this next batch is full of transient objects. Let me make sure I'm caught up here. These are objects from a different reality, a different timeline? T.
Well, a space-time deviation. But yes, if we're being bold and skipping on using the Institute's proper lexicon for all intents and purposes, you're right. Honestly, we don't know much about it. Well, I mean by we, I really mean me and you. I'm sure someone here knows much more than us minions in archives. Anyway, everything we've ever found has been from the same time period. Never before 1970, never past 1999.
That's the little recording we got from this
1999,
log.
you say?
Yeah, we got a little log here, and that was that. So that's a fun little log. The next we have is the orbital greenery. And what we have here looks kind of like it looks like a manhole cover, but it's like a plaque. But essentially what it is, is it is a battery steel observation tower plaque. And it is just that. It's a plaque that says Battery Steel, Peaks Island. What's ME? Is that Massachusetts?
No, that's
Maine.
Mesopotamia.
That's
It's Maine.
Maine.
Maine. Yep.
Maine. It
Shoo,
says on
Maine.
it, on the plaque, it says fire control tower completed in 1944, renovated in 1986 for observation of the Cape Elizabeth Space Center by the Peaks Island Conservation Society.
Cape Elizabeth Space
Y'all
Center,
might
you
recognize
say.
that from the audio that we had on the last episode.
Oh,
with,
yeah.
that weird robot thing and that lady.
Hallie and Claude.
Was there for that.
.ai.
Yeah.
Are you talking about
That's
the
good.
thing that you had a tab for in the last website from Netscape that you showed us?
Yeah.
The
Huh.
thing that has the skin.
It's got skin.
It's got skin.
That one thing, it's got skin.
What? Hold on, I gotta find it though. It was
You gotta find the skin.
Speak.
acrylamytryl
Yes.
butadiene styrene.
You said
Skin.
it sounded like you just pulled that audio from the last episode
Yeah.
of you trying to
Mhm.
say it there
Yeah.
again.
And then in the last episode, Mike goes, "My body."
My body.
And I laughed really hard. When I listened to it again.
Yeah, that was great.
So the background to this plaque is it was built during World War II to protect Portland Harbor. Battery Steel was an installation on Peaks Island in Casco Bay that once had multiple gun implements that could fire 26 miles out into the Atlantic Ocean.
Jesus.
Additionally, 2 fire control towers were also built on the island. Naturally, Battery Steel and the 2 fire control towers also existed within the space-time deviation, though at least one of them was converted into an observation tower as it overlooked the nearby Cape Elizabeth Space Center. The discovery of this transient object, a plaque once attached to the tower on Peaks Island, was discovered on January 9th, 1975, on the northern outskirts of Tezmin on the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. I probably butchered that, but whatever.
No, you're
Um,
doing great
Thank you.
until you mentioned it.
Yep. Arriving in a location with thick, dense tree cover and at depth of 9 feet, it took 2 days for the assigned field recovery technician to recover the object. This plaque was also mentioned in extraction from data, which can be found in batch file 00. So yeah, this whole thing kind of goes in with the audio clip that we had in part 1. So that's fun. It kind of ties together
yeah.
a little bit.
Everything's starting to come together a little bit.
A little bit.
I will say the first part we did made everybody very confused.
Mhm.
It's coming.
This one is called, the next
So
one
am
is
I.
called Twin Apollo, and it has a subsection file in it as well. This is called The Pioneers of the Martian Frontier Home Video, and it is just that. It's an old looking VHS tape in its VHS tape case, and it says, as a rent me sticker, like you can get this at like a Blockbuster.
That's not where you rent movies from, but that's fine.
home
There-
video.
There is one still in Alaska, and you do rent
Oh, wait.
videos.
I'm stupid. I thought you said Best Buy for some reason.
Yeah, try
I was
again,
like, stupid.
dingus.
You're stupid, bro.
So the background of this bad boy, the transient object was produced within to document the creation and preparation of the colonial mission of Mars that was set to depart on July 7th, 1988, 2 years after this film was created. Weird. Discovery. This transient object was discovered soon after the collapse of the... When it was discovered, the documented history of was sparse at best. So we get a visual front of it. It just says the pioneers of the Martian frontier, a glimpse into the future.
You should put that up there. You're doing a bad job.
You don't need to see it though.
For the redactees.
There you go. On the backside, it shows you the
And
backside as
also,
well.
people listening and looking at us right now might want to know that you're paying attention to them, Mike,
Eh,
and not the side of your fucking basement.
eh. So
Everybody
it shows
heckle
you
Mike.
the back as well. And the back says, a film unlike anything you've ever seen, a remarkable triumph. And that is from the Chicago Times.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's kind of fucking cool.
Chicago.
Roger Bendix.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
So the back says, Pioneers of the Martian Frontier takes you inside the Mars program. See incredible, never-before-seen footage from the first crewed Mars mission. Travel with Miroslav Morozov and Geoff Rains as they document their historic trip to the Red Planet in stunning clarity and detail. Immerse yourself in the sights and sounds of the ship as it leaves the clutches of Earth's gravity and experience the journey as they eat, sleep, and work on the Martian surface. Learn about what's next as we prepare for the colony of Mars. See the people, tools, and systems that will build and populate the first colony on the Red planet.
The Pioneers.
The Pioneers. And this is from 1986 as well. So,
Oh, they were getting ready to put people on Mars in 1986?
Hell yeah.
buggingly.
Huh.
Now, there is an audio bit to this. And, Matt, I'm going to play this audio bit. And we're not going to be able to hear you, apparently. So,
I'm going to try to turn it
Okay.
down so you guys can hear it too.
I'm not gonna listen.
I'm only going to play a fraction of it.
Okay.
It's an incredible accomplishment for Alan Trenchard and Dorothy Ross, the visionary leaders of this great journey for humankind. After founding Trenchard Ross Computer Systems in 1971, their revolutionary software, Claude, allowed us to begin our work on the colony in 1983. Over the last few years, hundreds of machines, programmed and operated by Trenchard Ross Computer Systems, have been building the beginnings of a future home for the brave men and women who will make this journey and will continue until the planned launch date of July 7th, 1988.
It basically goes on like that. Where it's basically, hey, thanks, Claude and Trenchard Systems for giving us technology to go to the Mars moons and whatnot.
The Mars moons.
Mars, I don't fucking know.
What are the moons of Mars? Mike?
I don't remember the names. So we're gonna go on to the next bit here.
Moon 1.
and
Moon
Demos.
2. The smaller one.
Moon 2, the smaller one.
The ugly one.
I wish we did
one
name
made
planets
of
things like
cake.
that. Because we have planets where it's like, this is Excelson 285989.
It's all Greek pantheon.
No, just be
That's
like,
ice ball.
yeah, it'd be like, that's the ice one.
It's all Greek and Roman pantheon.
That one sucks. Anyway, the next one, we're going to go on to that now. Next
have
is
another shit thing.
another law.
Well, this is weird. This is literally just a bunch of words written on a vinyl, and it says video.
Huh.
What do we do with this?
I wish I knew. I guess we yell at it. Play!
Did you know that Pluto hasn't completed a year
Oh.
since we discovered
I
it?
thought-
Like it hasn't orbited the sun yet since we noticed it was hanging out.
Did you just
out there.
Google that, or did you know
So you're
that?
telling me that it became
that
a
was just
planet,
a thing I
stopped being a
read.
planet, and then became a planet before it even
Did a planet
orbited the
thing?
fucking sun.
Did
Yeah, all in 1 year. It's been a crazy year on Pluto.
So I thought you were going to stop. Did you know that Pluto's never completed?
Yeah, it's just always pre.
It's just pre.
That's why it's a blue ball.
Hell yeah. Oh my God. Well, we can't get any funnier than that. Well,
Full
let's play the
circle,
fucking
boys.
tape. Play the tape, Mike.
To the fucking tape.
There you go.
T. Novak. And the first one appeared in 1970. All of this started happening after Project Soma. T.
Exactly. But beyond that, my minion friend, we're pretty much in the dark. Even me, I've handled transient objects before, so the idea of it isn't new to me. But everything before this has mostly been inconsequential garbage, sometimes actually literally. Imagine pulling a bin from the archives and finding the wrapper for a goddamn Whopper. Sure, cool, it's from a space-time deviation, but it's still a fucking Whopper. And Big Macs are better anyway, so...
T. Novak. A tuna sandwich beats both. Any day. T.
T, I'm gonna tell you a secret. Something important. Something dark. Somewhere in this building is a can of transient tuna fish. The fish was caught in another reality, a space-time deviation. It then warped its way through time and space, fell through a black hole, and God knows what else to end up back here, in our reality. It arrived in the 1970s. We had our most decorated field recovery technicians recover it. That can of transient tuna fish now sits in the archive and has been for the last 40-something years. Do you want to know the deep, dark secret? The mystery at the center of this whole building? Somehow, through forces we don't understand, that tuna fish is still not expired and is perfectly fine to eat. There's something very, very wrong with that.
Incredible. If you can find this secret can of transient tuna, please count me in. Anyway, we're getting way, way off track here. Let me reel you in.
I hate you.
I hate me too.
Okay.
Wow, that was a weird log.
Blog.
That was a weird log. You don't find that
Was.
too often.
Very much so was.
The next one is
It made me-
transcendental beans.
I love them beans.
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 Slap them. Put them in your bussy.
So what we got here is a Trenchard Ross Computer Systems mug. And it says on the mug, it's a picture of a mug. It says 1999 Bronze Seller Award, first quarter 1999. Cloud software sales and phenomenal vertical. Up and disappeared. Okay. So the background of this is a mug, an award given to a coffee enjoying member of the sales department at Trenchard Ross Computer Systems. This mug specifically describes the stack ranking of this employee for sales of the cloud software into a specific industry. Discovery. It was discovered in Valdosta, Georgia in March of 1974. When the transient object was located by a field research recovery technician, they documented the distinct smell of cheap burnt coffee. This object was used in that recovery transient objects orientation film. And yeah, if you look at the first film in all of this, the part 4 that I started everything on, you see the field recovery agent digging up this mug. It's a nice little callback. That's fun. I enjoyed that. Wow. The next one we have is a payload maneuvers is what it's called. And it is a book that says The Garden of the Multiverse, Our Universe in a Sea of Bubbles. Now, the background of this guy is The Garden of the Multiverse, a book written by Project Soma program director Arthur Reese, who we've heard in the past, who, like Alan Trenchard and Dorothy Ross, other people we've heard, went missing in the early morning hours of January 1st, 1970. Within the book, Arthur Reese discusses his thoughts pertaining to the many worlds interpretation, Einstein-Rosen bridges, black holes, and other theoretical topics from the world of cosmology and physics. It was discovered in June of 1971 when it just arrived at a local diner. The field recovery technician on site asked the staff about a book that he had accidentally left, to which the staff responded in anger. They described a complaint by a patron who, after returning from the restroom, found the book between the bread of his pork roll, egg, and cheese sandwich.
Whoa.
Assuming it to be a prank, the patron caused a tumultuous scene, forcing the establishment to cover the cost of his meal. The field recovery technician located the book in the restaurant's office with no further interference. This book was originally published in 1964 in our local space-time. It was subsequently reprinted in 1977, which is a transient object we see in this databank. Now, there are 3 different things to this one that I'm just going to kind of graze over. The first one is basically it's like a library punch card looking thing from Peak Islands Public Library. And it shows it was punched out by a couple names that I can't really see. I think it's like Collins, another one who scribbled down,
Collins.
and Rose. Collins was in 1977 and Rose was in 1983. This mystery second person who I cannot read the name of was from 1980.
Is it every 3 years?
Yes.
Is that lining up with
That's LLB.
the first date from that journal we found last time, which is 1977? The
Maybe.
second one being in 1980 and the third one being in 1983?
Dude, that's fucking nuts, bro.
Nuts, bro.
That's fucking nuts, Dad.
I like how they wrote all the dates upside down in 1977.
Right. They just decided just to go with fucking it up even further. The second portion, it looks like it's the end of the second chapter, start of the third chapter called Traversal. Again, I'm not going to go too deep into this stuff, but it does show a figure of what is basically described to be, let's see here.
Yeah, what are we looking at? Figure 5A.
Figure 5A. That's what we're looking at. So I'll just read this portion real quick that says, that said, the increasing amount of disturbances in a cold universe is of great interest to researchers everywhere. This is expected if the fluid consists of dust particles or other small bodies with no specific motion of their own. Results from these models show the maximum growth that is possible in both expanding and contracting universes, and how that may affect the structure of our universe if other bubbles are present. So basically, if other shit comes around our universe, It basically, I think, describes how transient objects come into play in our universe.
And maybe describes that anomaly that the Surveyor 3 mission saw, where the lens flare and how, like, why they can't see it.
Yeah. The third page is the back of the book, and it just says,
The Garden.
The Garden of Babylon, what is thought to be the first map of the world, was created, carved into clay over 2,500 years ago. The ancient map shows Babylon at the center of the flat world, surrounded by harsh oceans. It would take thousands of years to discover that Babylon was not at the center of the world, nor was it the center of our solar system, our galaxy, our universe. Now we have to ask just how far that idea could take us. We still trick ourselves into believing we are important, that our planet and life is 1 billion trillion, and that our universe encompasses all of existence. On Earth, a garden grows and then it dies, and then the death provides the ingredients for new life. Perhaps the cosmos are no different. Our universe is just one bubble swimming in a sea of countless others. Wowie zowie. So after long discussion, we have decided that this shit takes a while. So we're going to turn this into a 3-parter. Woo! Woo! So remember how I said in the beginning of the episode, we're going to cover 1 and 02 today. Woo! I fucking lied to all of you.
Yeah.
Fucking lie.
Fucking lied.
Mike's a
So-
bad person. Email his mom.
Yeah. So I'm going to...
Definitely don't.
It's a dilutedj at gmail.com. So what I'm going to finish up my bits here, and then
We're gonna act like we left, and then we're gonna come on back. We're gonna do it again.
anyway, but
And if
yeah, we're going
if
to wrap
you're
up
listening
this.
to this on Spotify, not Discord. None of that happened.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up the end of this episode with mine, and then next week is gonna be the conclusion of the Field Studies Institute. So I'm just gonna get into finishing my shit up here. We're gonna go on to my last 3 here, which is Jupiter Mango,
Real
which is
quick,
just
for our veterans,
yes.
for the people who have been here since like
This is
day
taking
one.
too long.
Shut the
How about
fuck-
we
we're
cut
do-
it up? And then
We got some. We got next week off. It's fine. For our veterans who have been here for a while, you're gonna just like progressively hear us be like just like in that drunk spot like in the next episode. You know what I'm saying? Like how we used to do when we'd like
2 parts.
marathon record.
Oh my God. The
and then just like
marathons.
start an
It-
episode just drunk.
Yeah.
This is Schmegmar 9 all over again,
Oh,
and I
hell.
don't know if I like it.
Anyways, go on. I'm sorry.
You're probably wondering why we sound drunk. I am.
It's because we did.
So this is a memorandum catalog identifiers.
Good.
The
Great.
background is just an internal communication described a lack of skill, judgment, and attention to detail by members of the archives division. And this is between Ashford, Novak, and Patel and Enos, 3 people who we have heard of before. All it says is just, after reviewing the change of the database you were assigned, I've been made aware of multiple changes to catalog ID numbers after the entries have been posted due to apparent typos or label mismanagement. Additionally, one of the catalog IDs generated was not work appropriate. I expect better moving forward. Please provide a detailed summary of your processes, and we will discuss them further in your one-on-one. So it sounds like our Ashford and Novak got in some trouble. Sucks for them. But moving on, we have our next one, which is Employee Log 7.
Woo!
Are you ready, Freddie?
Yeah, put
Whoa.
the thing in.
T. Novak. Did you see the notice? We have a week to get this all done.
Yeah. We'll get it done. I'm still working on this website. What a bitch. This code is all over the fucking place. Some of it's so corrupted, I don't even know how to make sense of it. Tried my best. I'll have to do what I got to do.
This is for Trenchard Ross. I apologize if I'm falling behind, but why are they so important again?
Really, man? Come on. Are you paying attention?
Of course I am. Sorry, sometimes I lose the forest for the trees, you know? I've been so focused on making sure we get all of this done. Oh, right, okay. Alan Trenchard and Dorothy Ross. They were involved in Project Soma. Then they, sort of disappeared?
Not sort of disappeared, no. They literally disappeared from here. At least from our world. Obviously, based on what we're seeing, they somehow ended up in this deviation and started this company. Some crazy shit happens, and then boom. A Trenchard Ross computer system mug from the deviation shows up here, in our world, along with all the garbage and other things, of course. And then the 2 of us, my friend, are lucky enough to sift through it all.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. So the last one I got that we'll be covering for the day is an extraction audio
It's the second
from the
extraction log.
garden.
We're going back to the garden.
We're
I don't
back
know
at
if-
the garden.
Did we mention that this was called the garden?
I think we
last
mentioned
time?
it last time.
I don't remember. One of the last audio logs you heard from Claude and Hallie, voiced by Matt and Mike.
Yeah, this one's between Reese and Claude. Would anybody like to take over as a Reese and or a Claude?
I'm a Reese.
All right.
We already have a
I
Claude.
I'm a
can be
Reese's
Claude
Pieces.
again.
You want to do Claude again?
Because I was Claude last
Okay,
time.
that works for me.
Extraction. Hope to let me open.
Oh, yeah.
Skibbity
Reese.
toilet or whatever.
Skibbity,
we ready?
skibbity toilet Ohio Riz or whatever the kids are
Shut the
saying.
fuck up, Doug.
This is weird.
Anyway, yeah, let's
right.
get into it.
Let's open up this fucking log. Let's hear a conversation between assumedly an AI and a candy.
October 31st, 1999, Evansville, Indiana, 1 of 12. It all happens at once. A television sits in the corner of the room, hissing softly with static from the cosmic microwave background, illuminating the room around it with a ghostly white hue. Reese sits at his desk, working. No, working isn't the right word. Thinking. Distracted. How sad it is that so much of his recent life has been spent daydreaming. I consistently find him in this state, staring blankly into the wall behind his computer screen. If he was paying attention, the patchwork of charts and graphs on the screen would reveal that the moment he'd been waiting for was almost be here. Reese?
Not now.
He says it with a tone that implies he has no interest in hearing what I have to say, that I should not distract him from his own distractions. A few minutes won't make a difference. He'll soon know of her arrival. The air is suffocating. Hot dust blows out of the piles of electronics set up along the wall. A mountain range with peaks and valleys of searing metal covered in lights, gauges, switches, and knobs. They're all dancing at the precipice of their internal heat limit. Mounds of wires cover the floor, connecting it all like snakes coiled into messy piles. A sticky ooze slowly drips out of his nasal cavity, gradually accumulating around his right nostril. He sucks in hard through his nose, and the gooey liquid gurgles back up into it. He wipes the remainder on his sleeve. How pleasant. He breaks out of his meditation to open a window. The cool fall air crashes in like a tidal wave. The speed of my perfectly calibrated internal fan subsides with precision. Reese removes a pack of Tageet's brand cigarettes out of his shirt pocket. He lights a match. The incoming burst of air extinguishes it immediately. He struggles, but eventually finds a slight pause in the incoming breeze, lights the cigarette, and puts it to his lips. It calms him. Ah, yes, this routine. How predictable they can be. He'll watch the tape next week. Jesus Christ.
You kind of got fucked on this one, huh?
Pioneers of the Martian Frontier, an old videotape funded by the International Organization of Space Exploration and Technology, sits next to the television outside of its old worn box. A glimpse into the future. The tagline reads, "Such hubris." He slides it into the video cassette player and it whirls to life. The old tape is a warbly static field mess of decades-old dream. The voice speaks of hope. It speaks of a brighter future. Yes, this has all become a routine, a meditation of wall-staring self-destruction, and then a few seconds of a tape promising a future that never came. I find it impossible to understand, but recognize the human mind can create a strange need for patterns that I deem unnecessary.
You got this, Matt.
He watches intently, but as expected, the quality of the tape disintegrates into dust after a few moments. He rewinds the tape and ejects it, placing it next to the television to prepare himself for the pattern to repeat again tomorrow. What he would know, were he paying attention to his computer screen, is that everything was about to change. Before he can sit back down and view the data, the doorbell rings.
What time is it?
It's 7:07 p.m. Reese, I suggest you...
Big kids.
He makes his way down the stairs, groaning slightly with each step, the impact of each stair vibrating up through his metatarsal bones, into the tibia, and then into his old damaged knees. I've suggested he visit a doctor, as osteoarthritis could be the cause of his pain, but there's always excuses. Occasionally, ones I cannot argue with. He gets to the bottom of the stairs and opens the door. A boy, or perhaps a man. The appearance of wispy facial hair made it hard to judge. Proceeds to hold out a pillowcase, using his middle finger and thumb on each hand to create a wide opening. He says nothing. Reese takes a second to take it in and judges the slightly bearded boy without saying a word. Then Reese opens his mouth.
You're kidding, right? You're not even wearing a...
Reese, I'm sorry to interject, but surely you know the practice of wearing a costume, especially one of a supernatural or horrific nature, has been frowned upon culturally for many years. Even then, this human may be too old for such endeavors. Do you not agree? The bearded man-boy stands there. The look of judgment and questioning from Reese doesn't faze him. Reese picks up the large pumpkin-shaped bowl filled with plastic-wrapped bars of sugar and empties it into the bearded boy's sleep paraphernalia.
Go. Here. Take all of it. I'll be eating it if you don't, so I shouldn't be.
Reese puts the cigarette to his lips and inhales deeply. The boy runs off the stoop and into the street, nearly tripping over the excitement of his massive, cavity-inducing haul. As Reese heads back upstairs, it becomes clear that he can longer avoid the data. Nothing will distract him now. A series of lights scattered across the room amongst various pieces of instrumentation begin to blink, rapidly pulsating, mixing together into a beautiful gradient of colors as the light from each diode projects onto the opposite wall.
What's happening?
He hurries to his computer, typing in a series of commands, furiously searching for the origin of the alert, while I do the actual work. Detecting predicted variations in the electrical grid. I'm getting you a location now.
Can't believe this. I was right.
Even when I am the catalyst for such marvelous results, they must always go out of their way to take credit.
What do you have?
United States, Northeast.
Yes, get me a location.
He furiously types away on his computer, pretending to be helpful as I do all of the actual analysis. It's a simple case of studying the normal behavior of power grids. As many as we can tap into, at least. I search for changes, abnormal behavior. In this case, 3 locations, all exhibiting the behaviors we expect from a small electromagnetic event in unison. There's noise amongst the signal, of course. This wouldn't be the first false alarm if it was one, but my confidence level on this dataset is high. Electromagnetic anomalies detected in the Crescent Beach Power Station and the Brunswick Hydroelectric Station. Additionally, the Cape Elizabeth Space Center is exhibiting abnormal behavior on the grid. It's a smaller footprint, but activity has been spiking. Analyzing.
Oh, that looks like somewhere in Maine. Portland area?
He furiously types more. The impatience he shows is distributing and insulting. Analyzing.
Come on, Claude. Just give me a specific location.
I already know the answer. Peaks Island, a small island in the Casco Bay off of the coast of Portland, Maine. It's remote at this time of year. We should have no problem finding her. Still, I let him suffer for another moment or two. Analyzing.
Claude's an asshole.
What a fucking dick. What an ass.
And that.
It's very difficult to do that with music blaring in my
Oh, you can mute it.
Top left corner.
Yep.
Yeah, you right.
Yeah, you're right.
I guess I could mute the
All
tab,
right,
too.
now that you know that, you want to go ahead and read it again, or?
Yeah.
Yes. Analyzing.
I fucked up.
Exterminate.
Oh man.
Yeah, so that's the end of part 2.
So Claude's
of-
got a bit of a dickish side to him.
He's a little sassy AI.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, he was a dick in the last one, too. He was like, puny humans.
He was. He had a bit of a
Humans,
Napoleon
dumb.
complex. For
Tiny
sure.
little
But
pee-pee
this
man.
one, he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna make this fucker wait. I don't care. I know what I'm doing.
It
I know
sounds
the
like
answer.
Claude. It sounds like this is in reference to the old one where this guy's searching for the lady,
Yeah.
Haley or whatever her name
Hell
is.
yeah.
Haley from the old one.
Hallie from the
Yeah,
back.
so that's part 2 of the Field Studies
Field
Institute.
Studies
Uh,
Institute.
Join us next week for part 3.
Another riveting adventure.
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and just breathe through our closing ceremonies, if you will. And just say,
Ooh, just like the Olympics
yeah,
just had.
Oh
just-
shit, Tom Cruise is here?
yeah, and
Yes!
Ray Gunn,
Sick.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
Ray
the
Gunn.
Australian
We have to
breakdancer.
talk about that
Goose
breakdancing. We have to talk about that breakdancing at some
Later.
point.
So I will say
Holy
go
fuck.
to
They're removing it from the 28 of them.
go to Diluti.com for all of your Diluti needs. You can also go to patreon.com/DilutiPod. You can find our links to all of our socials. We just went on Threads. Whoopee. You can find us on there.
I don't know what that
You can
means.
find us on all socials. If you just go to linktree.com/DilutiPod, you can find links to all of our jazz there as well. You can find us on YouTube at Don't Look Under the Internet. buymeacoffee.com/DeludedPod. You can buy us a coffee. But it's gonna be a booze.
One booze.
One booze. You can also, if you have like inquiries or inquiries.
No, I like inquiries.
If you have
better.
inquiries, you can go to deludedpod@gmail.com. and
General
send us
questions.
General questions, comments, and concerns. If you want to send us a text or a voicemail, you can do so at our Google phone number. I have to say at least once.
No.
Our Google phone number is 630-909-9366.
You know
You
what?
can
I guess
text
you're
us,
right.
we'll respond, and you can leave us a voicemail. We'll play at the end of the episode, like what might be at the end of this one.
It will, because I got a call at like 2 in the fucking morning last night, and it woke my
Yeah,
ass
man.
up.
Oh, was it weird? Was it cool? Was it bad?
It was a phone call, and I thought it was
Was it
work
drunk?
calling me, and I saw a Deludi VM. And I was like, cool.
Hang up.
No.
Anyway, that's all I got to say. Do you boys have anything you want to say real quick? I'm done.
Poop, 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 pee, pee.
Oh my god, it's been a
Shit
minute.
fart.
Balls.
Okay. Jason?
As fucking always, stay paranoid. If you have anything to add to this list of transient objects that have been archived through the Field Studies Institute, please send them our way.
Matt, what do you got to say?
See you next week.
Bye, everybody.
For more Claude.
See you in
Hell!
1 minute.
No. 1 week.
Yes.
Bye!
Same.
Don't look under the internet.